there's the topic. Family support for Ross Harris. Again, he's the dad, and he's facing a murder charge in the death of his 22-month-old Cooper, who was left in a car 7+ hours. He died. What a tragedy here. And we're also finding out there were internet searches done by dad and mom about how hot a car would have to be for a little child to die. And lo and behold, little Cooper did die. What are your thoughts on all this? 1-877-TEL-HLN. Jesse's with us in Texas. Hey, Jesse, your comment or question here?
Yes, I have two questions. One is, after he got off work, why didn't he go to the daycare to pick up the kid if he thought the kid was at the daycare? And number two is, why didn't the daycare call him and say, hey, you didn't bring your kid in today. Is everything okay?
Two great questions there, Jesse. And that, from what we gather, was the normal routine, that he took the child to an on-site daycare. Kristen Klingshirn again with us, personality on the syndicated radio show The Burt Show, although syndicated, based in Atlanta. A lot of folks have called in to talk to you about this. Have other people mentioned that? The daycare and the routine, or a different routine on this day?
We have talked about this story extensively and taken a ton of phone calls, primarily from parents, and 100% of them said there's no way this could have happened. They just don't believe the story. And when Sunny was speaking earlier, the fact that she and her husband realized after 5, maybe 10 minutes that they had left the child in the car and went back, for him to go 7 hours, every parent that called said they have this bond with their child. They are constantly thinking about their child throughout the day. So the fact that he could sit there at work for as long as he did, and never once little Cooper would pop up in his mind, and he would realize, oh my God, I left my child in my car. That's what people found most unbelievable, that he could go 7 hours and not even once think about his child and realize he did not drop him off at daycare.
And one of the details to add on to that is that reportedly he goes to the car about lunchtime, throws something in the vehicle, and then leaves. Which is, you know, there was one more chance to potentially see little Cooper.
And when he put him in that rear-facing car seat, he didn't go straight to work. He stopped and had breakfast with his son and then went to work. So once again, you realize that your child is in the car with you. And even though in that time span of going from the restaurant to work, yes, maybe there could be a lapse in judgment and you forget, but this was routine for this family. This wasn't out of routine for him to take his child to that daycare.
Right.
So that's what makes, I think, in the court of public opinion, most people are thinking, there's just too many holes in this story.
A lot of people are thinking that. And again, we now know that man right there called into his son's funeral, and a family friend asked for an ovation. He got a standing ovation. Robbie Ludwig's back with us. Robbie, here's some of the things that the mom said. She said that she would not bring Cooper back into this selfish world. She also said that she'll miss her son forever, but he won't have to deal with heartache, that is, and will not have to deal with awkward stages of middle and high school. Again, I don't want to judge what somebody might say in this period where you lose a child, but I don't think I've ever heard that, where you're like thinking, oh, well, he won't have to do this or won't have to do that. You're in grief and you miss him, period.
Right. It's disturbing commentary, and it makes you wonder if she was almost suiciding vicariously, you know, really felt that life or the world was an unpleasant place filled with a lot of pain and hurt, and she was trying to protect her child from that pain and hurt in a very distorted way. But it's, you know, I did a search on the internet because I was curious. What someone would find if they were looking for how long it would take for a child or animal to die in a hot car. And all the advice out there clearly says never leave your child in a car, and never more than 15 minutes. And temperatures can be even mild as 70 and still be lethal, because a car is like a greenhouse. So when you read the information out there, it's pretty clear that this is something very dangerous, even for a few minutes, for the parents that legitimately forget and get lucky somehow.